Alright, before I actually let you go on to this next episode here, there's a thing I need to say. This episode was meant to be uploaded, edited, all that, last week on Friday. So, the audio is gonna be different, and I'm gonna sound super low energy and super bored. So, just a disclaimer, just to let you know, this is the wrong day I was supposed to appear in. But, here you are. Here's the new episode. There you go. Go on your way, my friend. I guess. Let's go. Hey, yo. You here for frame perfect input? Like, come inside. Like, I can just open the door for you here now, and you can come in. Like, what are you waiting for? Come on, let's go. Come on. Oh man, it's hot. All right. Where Winds Meet, that is like one of the big games right now, mainly in like the kind of Dark Souls-esque type of gameplay, or even the gacha gameplay, like if you're into Genshin or Wuthering Waves. Somehow, if you're in those areas, you know this game exists. You know where Winds Meet exists. And to me, I knew it through a Wuthering Waves content creator that, plays games that are particularly hard, or they make it way harder for themselves by playing stylishly. But anyways, Where Winds Meet, great game. But how great? Well, I'm gonna have to go into that. And for this episode, I actually have a bullet points. I actually have bullet points for this episode to actually talk about stuff. The other ones were just off of my head. This one is written down, kind of. I got beats, so, let's go with it. Where Winds Meet is a Souls-like game, so it's definitely a hard game. It's got multiple difficulties, which is very good to reach different areas of the gaming community for different skill levels. If you're looking for like just a story-driven adventure and you don't want to worry too much about figuring out the patterns of bosses or opponents or anything like that, you just want story, music, dialogue, all that stuff. They have those settings, but they also have settings for people who want the Souls-like experience. Basically, in my opinion, they have difficulties for people who want to experience the game how it should be experienced. The Legend mode, I believe. There is a mode below that, which is basically the same. It just is a little easier in terms of how much damage you take and how much health the bosses have. But the two difficulties are basically the same. Legend, the big bonus is the fact that you can flex how many bosses you've actually beaten, which is very, very good if you have friends that you want to show off to, or you want to show off to people in other online lobbies or something like that. Then Legend difficulty, boom, there you go. You can kill bosses and show off how good you are. For me, I chose Legend, of course. I have to play how the game is meant to be played. Also, this is a game that I've been looking for for a long time now. A Sekiro-style game that is in a multiplayer type of framework style, because you can play with other people. You can co-op with other people, play against bosses with friends and all that. That's something that I've been looking for a while, but I was never able to actually find that. Technically, with PGI, you can co-op against certain bosses, but the co-op is absolutely horrendous because of the type of what is it called? The online thing, like how rollback and all that. They do not. They use delay-based, I believe, which is not very good for a game like that. And it shows. It's horrible. I can't even play with my friends. Like, it's so bad. Anyways, off of that, Where Winds Meet, it's a great game if you like Souls-like games, because let's get into my pros. The game looks amazing, absolutely amazing. I think it's Unreal Engine. It looks like spectacular. Realistic, Yeah, I'd probably say that's everything. Just it's so real. It's so like I was about to say encapsulating, but I don't think that's the word I'm looking for. It really just immerses you into the game because of its visuals. It looks great. It's undeniably like beautiful. The water reflections, the grass and everything, the buildings, your own character, the other characters, NPCs and all that. Everything feels alive. Everything feels like very much another world that you just went into. And that is like perfect. That you absolutely need that for a game of its type. In this time, 2025, yeah, you definitely need something like that. So the game looks amazing. I haven't even gotten that far really. I've gotten stuck on the huge ass steroided horse, and I haven't gotten back to the game for a while. But I will be getting back, and I will be seeing more because I've seen in other people's videos how like there are some huge like cities and towns, and I absolutely want to get to those for sure because they look amazing in video. I want to see it on my own screen with my own computer specs doing it. So yeah, I definitely look forward to that. If you're a fan of a good looking game and immersive world, this one is definitely one you need to actually get into and try to play because damn is it good. Another thing I want to talk about, which is the big selling point for this game for me, and the whole thing that actually made me think, huh, you know what, maybe I'll try this game, is the actual gameplay. Like, that should be a no-brainer, but there are some games where the gameplay is not the big focus, and that's fine. This game, the gameplay is the focus. If you don't actually like make good, solid gameplay, you're screwed. The game's not gonna work. It's gonna be absolutely horrible. But this game, the gameplay itself, the mechanics, it feels good and solid and well refined to an extent. I'll get to that later. It's so like rewarding. It feels nice to parry. It feels nice to block and attack and everything like that. Because, okay, I'll run through it real quick. If you don't know much about it, it has the same style as, I'd say, Sekiro. It would be close, yeah, it would be something like that. The movement of your character is very Sekiro, very floaty, quick. I wouldn't say it's very Dark Soulsy, which I feel is a lot heavier and slower. So yeah, a lot closer to Sekiro. The weapons, how does the speed of the weapons when you use them, certain ones, of course, with the exceptions of like tank class weapons, like the big sword, the big blade, some spears, are also very slow. But generally, like it feels very fast, very fluid. The parries feel great when you actually hit a parry. The blocking, even though I don't really use it, which is a skill issue, it feels good too. Lock-ons are good for the most part. I have one gripe. I will probably get into it later. The the weapon selections very interesting actually. The ones that they've gone for, which is nice, intriguing. I absolutely love the selection. They have the whole martial arts system, which is connected to the weapons and all that. There's a lot going on, and I love it. Absolutely love it. It's not like overwhelming. It's not overwhelming at all, but it is definitely a lot, and a lot in a good way. It's enough stuff for you to branch off different ways to be like, oh, I want to try this weapon. I want to try this weapon. I want to try that weapon. I want to jump through all of these. And yeah, the game really provides a lot when it comes to gameplay and weapons and everything of that sort. So they definitely put a lot of work into that, that's for sure. And the weapons feel great. They definitely feel great. I would not like it if the weapons were just not exactly what I expected them to do. They respond how I expect them to respond. And that is a big plus for me that you've got. The other thing I absolutely love, which I guess you can say could be subjective. I would say it's subjective. I actually like how the what was it? The dub for the Chinese side, the Chinese dub. I actually like it. I listen to the Chinese dub because, in my mind, it's a Chinese game. So I have to get into the world properly. So Chinese dub, Chinese game. It makes sense, right? So I turn that on, I listen to that. If it's nice. I actually like it. I don't understand any of it. Of course, I don't speak Chinese or anything like that. But it feels great. It feels like it's immersive because the actual voice acting doesn't feel really forced or like just unnatural. In some other games, you'll find voice acting to be very unnatural to the point where it's like, they're trying to voice act. They're not the character. You know what I mean? Like, it's not. It's like there's two separate things going on. There's the character, and then there's a voice trying to be the character instead of actually being one with the character, and it sounds like it's them brought to life, which is something I will talk about with the other dub right now, in fact. But before that, we're gonna take a break before we, continue with this episode. This very interesting and compelling stuff here. For sure, maybe, I don't know, because this was pre recorded. Anyways, let's take a break. Sit back, relax. If you're in a car, maybe park on the side. Get yourself a drink, get some food in, get that energy back up, and yeah. You ready? Let's get back into that episode because I've got some more to talk about, I'm sure. Again, I'm pre recorded, so yeah. Let's get back into this. Let's go. To start off the cons, I absolutely dislike the English voiceovers. I don't like the English voiceover at all. The voice acting is not very good to me. Like it feels like the word that came to mind instantly as soon as I heard it is cringy. It doesn't. The previous issue that I stated before, how it feels like there's the character there, and then there's the voice actor just trying to be the character and not feel like it's actually them brought to life. That's what I'm feeling. It feels wrong. It feels like ooh, like if you watch a Japanese anime and you see, or if you find a foreign character, usually American, they usually have this specific way of getting the voice actor to do their voice acting. It's basically that. I guess it's just it just doesn't it does feels wrong. It doesn't feel like proper English, which is a weird thing to say, but to me, the English dub just doesn't sound right. It doesn't work with me. And there's also another problem which is stemming from that. It's the fact that the English dialogue in some places it just doesn't exist. At first, I thought it was like I thought it was like a side quest where, like in some games, the side quest won't actually have dialogue. This doesn't apply to like AAA games or anything like that. But in some free games, basically free to play games online, side quests will sometimes not have dialogue connected to it. So I thought it would be like that. And then I switched to Chinese, played that part, and I found out, well, it's there. It's right there. The voice acting is happening in the Chinese dub. English? Nope. Where is it? Like, did they not record it? Did they, like, forget it? Or, like, for me, right now in my position, I'm thinking, okay, maybe the English side isn't complete yet. So they're putting all of it into the main, like, story dialogue, and then all the side stuff they're gonna do afterwards and, like, subsequent patches or something like that, which is fine. But then you go to other ones, like when you go to the temple, I'm pretty sure there's a bit of English dialogue there, which is like it's it's spotty because it'll be English dialogue, you can hear the voice, and it goes to the next character or the next line, it's gone. Where'd it go? And then it comes back and it disappears and then it stays gone. Where'd it go? Like, you have it right there. Clearly, you've done some of it. So where is it? Because then you go back to it in Chinese, it's there. I, I don't get it. I don't get it. I really don't. The Chinese dub, to me, is amazing and complete. the English dub is cringy and not complete, or maybe it is complete. I don't know. Maybe it's bugs, but early games could be just my fault. My computer could just suck. But in my experience, I found that the English dub is not complete, feels wrong, feels forced, not like it's not like they're actually alive as this character in this situation. It's as if a an Asian director, of Asian voice director, tried to get a foreigner, like an American or a British person or something like that, who speaks proper English, to speak this English dialogue in the Chinese Englishy kind of way, like that type of thing. That's basically what it feels like. And if you don't understand what I mean, go to any kind of like English clip that you can find on YouTube, which is very easy to find, by the way, and you'll get what I mean. You'll get what I mean. Maybe you'll get it wrong. I guess if I had to point you to a way, you can go to Miss Kobayashi Dragon Maid Season 2 when Kana went to the US. There is a lot of characters there that speak English in a very unnatural way that an proper English speaker would not speak like that. Anyways, that's basically how I feel about the dialogue. Yeah, that one is one of the big issues. I would play in English, but it just feels so wrong. It feels weird. I don't know. I don't know. But that's how I feel about it right now. Maybe I'll play a bit more and then I'll hear like considerably better English, or maybe I'm just a bit harsh on it, or I'm not taking it correctly. Anyways, it's early days, like I said before. Anything can happen. They could probably improve. They will improve. We'll see how it goes. The next thing I have on my list that is a con. This one I classed as a nitpick or nitpicking stuff because, well, it's nitpicky and it could potentially be a skill issue. I am like 80 to 90% sure it is a skill issue. Anyways, let's get to it. The movement. The movement, I did say, feels fluid and nice, but to me it feels like it's still a little rough around the edges. Like, when you're jumping, it feels really like it feels kind of weird. It's not as fluid as you'd expect from, say, Sekiro. I'm gonna compare to Sekiro a lot because I get Sekiro vibes from it. If you played Sekiro and you've moved in that game, movement feels so fluid, so nice in that game. And like it feels so satisfying. And when you mess up, to me anyways, it feels like you messed up. You know you messed up. It was your doing. The game didn't do that. You did that. But in this game, to me, the movement feels just a little rough to the point where I'm like, I don't think I did that wrong. I think I did this right, but the game is showing me something else. I guess the reaction, the response, isn't exactly what I expected for it to be, and that's how I feel about that. The movement just feels a little rough, easily fixable, I think, for them. But that's just me. There's also this one is extremely nitpicky, but when you do the drop after jumping like a high enough height, um, which saves you from breaking your legs or taking damage or anything like that. That one, animation wise, feels like it's missing the middle part of the animation. It's like we're up here, we're spinning down, boom, we're already hitting the ground. We're already here. Where was the descent down? You see how nitpicky this is? But I guess that shows how good the game is. I love the game so much that I'm starting to nitpick things so I can make the game better. So yeah, that thing feels really weird. There's also a super nitpick, and this is because I play Wuthering Waves. If you play Wuthering Waves, you know that when you jump, you don't consume stamina. In Where Winds Meet, if you jump, you consume stamina. And at the beginning, you consume a lot, but I can imagine later on you don't. But you consume stamina nonetheless. So that's a very, very, very small nitpick that I think is actually balanced out by the fact that you can triple jump. Well, you can double jump if you know, not include the ground jump or something like that. But you can triple jump. So I think that's kind of the balance of it. You lose stamina based on the fact that you can triple jump, which you can't do in Wuthering Waves, by the way. You can double, but you know, there's that. That's type of nitpick. And then there's another thing. This one is kind of like, I'm not entirely sure, but I feel like when I go into the menus, I'm like super lost. I don't know where I'm going sometimes. I don't know what this thing means. I'll click here. Oh, it says there's something that I need to check out here with, you know, with the red frequency type of thing. I'll click on that. I click on it. I see there is no indication as to what I am missing. Like, I clicked here expecting to see something, you know, obviously off from everything else, and that would be the thing I need to check out. Like maybe it's the season pass thing, maybe it's a quest, maybe it's the mailbox. But I click it, and then it's just like nothing. Where am I supposed to go? You know, there's a lot of things that really confuse me. Like there's this other thing. Again, this one might be a skill issue, but there was the fact that I didn't know how the potions kind of worked, and there were actual subreddits on this as well. So apparently I'm not the only one. But the potions, I thought if you went back to like the waypoints, the rocks, the waystones, that's what it is. If you went back to the waystones, I thought it would replenish your potions. That wasn't the case. I found out. I read the text. It's not very obvious what you do, at least to me. Like I was expecting it to say like, oh, you should um, replenish your potions by buying it or create or crafting it or something like that. It probably says it, but not quite like that. It's a roundabout way, threaded into the story or something like that. But to me, it's not obvious enough, I guess. Because I was stuck looking at my potions at one, and then I'd use all my potions, and then I go back to a waster, and I'm just like, oh man, okay, what's going on here? I thought it was going to replenish, and it didn't. It didn't. But, you know, obviously, since I know this, I have found out that you have to craft it or buy it. So, you know, problem solved, probably a skill issue, but that is pretty much an example of, you know, the game not really guiding you properly. Personally, I feel like there's a lot of things that isn't explained properly or all the way. And then if you go on to the oh man, I've forgotten the name for that. The sects. Um, I was trying to join some, and I would read it, and it would be like, it is impossible. It is hard to find them, or something like that. And I was like, why? Like, is that the clue? Am I supposed to, like, find a way to get this? Is it hidden? And then I find out after searching, no, it just isn't implemented yet. And for some reason, they didn't want to say this is unavailable, or they didn't want to keep it out of the game because it's not even there yet. Like, this is, again, this might be a nitpick, honestly, but it's like, if it's not in the game yet, don't show it. You can, like, don't show it like that in that menu without saying not available, or you can't get this yet, it's inaccessible or something like that. I don't know. Like, that one is just really weird to me. Why would you show it if it's not available? The other ones are available, and when I mean other ones, I mean four. I think there's only like four sects available currently on global. Like, if it's not there, don't put it there. Just lock it or something, please. Just say it's not available yet, and then we'll be clear with it. Well, I think that's it. That's enough of my Where Winds Meet rant to, you know, wrap it all up. Overall, I think the game looks amazing. I think the game plays amazing. The Chinese VA work, amazing as well. But also, on top of all of the greatness there's also the cons, like the English VAs, the missing dialogue, where the Chinese dialogue actually exists. and the nitpicks of the movement feeling a little rough, the parry, I actually didn't say this, but the parry also felt like I was parrying. Nope, the game says no. That one might be a skill issue, but there's also the lack of direction, as in, like, you don't know where you're going, you don't know what things are available, you're lacking some understanding on it. That's basically the cons. There's also, let me add on the end of this, there's also some, like, is it missing dialogue? Something like that, where some dialogue would just be missing straight up. And, well, of course, these are all nitpicks or some things that are kind of buggy, but it is early games, like I've been saying. And honestly, I'm looking forward to where they take the game. You know, I want to see what they do with this because I absolutely love the idea. But currently, in its current state, it definitely has some rough edges that they need to sand off and smoothen, which I can see happening. And like, for me now, I can wait. I will gladly wait and see what they have in store for us. For sure, for sure. And for you, my dear listener, you should check out Where Winds Meet because it's an absolutely breathtaking game visually. And if you're in for a Souls-like game, you should play it. Also, make sure to set it to Legend difficulty because if you don't, then you can't play it. You can't play Legend difficulty. So do not make that mistake. Yo, thanks for listening to this episode of Frame Perfect Input. Yes, this marks the end of the episode, but we're on every week. When, you may ask? We come out with new episodes on Tuesday, on Friday, and sometimes we have a bonus episode that appears on the weekends, either Saturday or Sunday. Sometimes it'll be there, sometimes it won't. Depends on what is happening in the gaming sphere or how I feel in that moment. So, if you are interested in that, then stay tuned. Maybe hit that bell, follow us on Spotify, do whatever you must if you want to stay on track with what we have in store for you. You can find me on YouTube at Misty Mist, spelt Misty, MYSTYMST. And yeah, I'll see you next time on the next episode. I'll see you later, and hopefully the cooks are in next time.